Hello and welcome. I am a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome all you students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. We're really looking forward to supporting your professional growth in this amazing industry. You know, this explainer is designed to serve as your executive masterclass. We're going to bridge that high-level theory with the ultra-realistic day-to-day operations of premium luxury hotels and resorts. All right, let's just quickly walk through our agenda for today's masterclass. First up, we've got Welcome to Engagement Culture. Second, Leadership Sets the Tone. Third, Living Values Every Day. Fourth, Communication and Recognition. And finally, Sustaining the Journey. Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, Welcome to Engagement Culture. So when we walk into a truly world-class hotel, we instantly notice the magnificent lobbies, the pristine front desks, the elegant restaurants, right? But the real foundation of all that luxury doesn't actually come from the architecture. It comes from an invisible, meticulously crafted environment. You see, a thriving culture in a luxury hotel doesn't just emerge by chance. It's intentionally shaped. We define engagement culture by how employees feel about their work, their colleagues, and the organization itself. There is a direct, undeniable line between an employee's internal feelings and the organization's external outcomes. This is literally the bedrock of service quality, guest loyalty, and ultimately long-term business success. Frankly, if the employee isn't engaged, the guest experience is going to inevitably suffer. But how does this abstract concept actually manifest in reality? Well, in hospitality, culture is not some quarterly retreat. It's experienced moment by moment. It's deeply, deeply practical. Just picture the bustling environment of a hotel kitchen or a really busy reception desk. Culture is visible in the exact way a supervisor greets their team members at the start of a 6 a.m. shift. It's revealed in how mistakes are handled during a chaotic dinner service. Is it a moment for constructive coaching or is it a moment of public reprimand? These little micro interactions, they are the actual fabric of your hotel's culture. Research and professional training perspectives, especially those from right here at Europe Hotel School London, have pretty much distilled this down to a science. They consistently highlight 4 core predictors of a strong engagement culture, and those are respect, purpose, trust, and inclusion. When these 4 pillars are firmly in place, employees feel emotionally connected to what they do. They aren't just clocking in to perform a task anymore. They're bringing their full selves to a purpose-driven environment. Moving on to Section 2. Leadership sets the tone. In the hospitality sector, leaders are the ultimate architects of both the guest and the employee experience. And this brings us to a foundational truth of management. Leaders set the tone through their actions rather than their words. Think about it. Your team is constantly watching you. They're looking at how you handle stress, how you treat junior staff, and how you uphold standards. When leaders consistently show fairness, deep empathy, and unwavering consistency, well, employees are far more likely to mirror those exact behaviors with the guests and with each other. It's essentially a psychological mirror effect. So, how do we operationalize this? Leadership really needs to follow a specific sequence of behaviors. Step 1, listen actively. And by that I mean truly hearing the challenges your frontline staff face, not just, waiting for your turn to speak. Step 2, explain decisions transparently. If a new operational policy is rolling out to the revenue office or the housekeeping team, take the time to explain the why behind it. And Step 3, involve employees in problem solving. When you bring your team into the fold to fix an issue, you actively foster a deep, enduring sense of ownership and belonging. They stop just being employees and they really start being stakeholders. That brings us to Section 3, Living Values Every Day. Now we need to look at the daily, practical application of organizational values out there on the hotel floor. And this leads us to what is probably the most common pitfall in corporate hospitality: stated values versus lived values. Look, a lot of hospitality companies have beautiful mission statements emphasizing service excellence. They're elegantly framed, hung up on a wall in the staff break room. But honestly, that plaque does nothing on its own. The stark reality here is that employee engagement only grows when those values are actively lived, meaning they actually guide the daily decisions, the resource allocation, and the behaviors of every single manager in the building. Let's look at a concrete example of this: respect in action. If your stated value is respect, how is it actually lived? Well, it's reinforced when managers take the time to accommodate personal scheduling needs whenever it's operationally possible. It's shown when a manager steps right in to address interpersonal conflicts constructively rather than just ignoring them. Over time, this consistent, respectful behavior builds an immense reservoir of trust and emotional commitment between the staff and the leadership.
All right, Section 4, Communication and Recognition.
Let's examine the everyday tools that act as the true cornerstones for sustaining this kind of environment. First up, the power of open communication simply cannot be overstated. Honest and frequent communication does several critical things all at once. It reduces the anxiety that comes with uncertainty, it builds confidence, and it directly connects an individual's daily role, say a front desk agent or a maintenance engineer, to the overarching success of the hotel. Plus, it allows leaders to reinforce priorities and address simmering concerns early on, which effectively stops disengagement in its tracks way before it can develop into actual staff turnover.
Now, let's talk about recognition. There's this persistent myth in our industry that recognition always requires a massive budget. Now, costly, elaborate organizational reward systems are nice to have, sure, but they often lack a genuine personal touch. The research shows that sincere praise, just timely, genuine acknowledgement of effort and results, like a really sincere "thank you for navigating a difficult guest situation," often has the strongest, most profound impact on an employee's emotional bond with the organization. When this kind of sincere praise aligns with your core values, it so powerfully reinforces the exact behaviors you want to see repeated.
And finally, Section 5, Sustaining the Journey.
So, how do we ensure that this beautifully crafted culture doesn't just fade away after a really busy season? Because culture absolutely cannot survive on goodwill alone. It has to be embedded into your back-end operations. Your engagement goals must be deeply integrated into crucial system alignment. We're talking about your recruitment, your onboarding, your performance management, and your development practices. Think about it. If you preach teamwork on the floor, but your performance metrics only reward aggressive individual upselling, well, your systems are inconsistent, and inconsistent systems will inevitably undermine trust. Conversely, highly aligned practices reinforce commitment at every single stage of the employee lifecycle. Ultimately, what you really need to take away from this explainer is that building a culture of engagement is never a finished project. You just don't check a box and move on. It's a continuous process of attention, reflection, and adaptation as the needs of your organization and your staff naturally evolve. When hospitality organizations make this ongoing investment, the return is a vibrant environment where employees genuinely thrive. And, as a direct result, your guests receive exceptional, truly memorable service.
As we conclude our masterclass today, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. Look at the ultra-realistic operations happening in the hotels around you every day and ask yourself, as future hospitality leaders, how will your daily actions shape the culture of your hotel? Will you merely state your values, or will you truly live them moment by moment? The blueprint is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for joining this Europe Hotel School online learning journey. Keep observing, keep learning, and I really look forward to seeing the incredible cultures you are going to build.